let's be for real. It's not that you're lazy and it's not that you're not smart. It's really the damn phone. That tiny screen is stealing away your focus, your time, and your grades, and we don't even realize it. That's why today I'm going to be helping you to actually break that phone addiction, get you back on track, and actually turn your phone into a tool that can actually help you to become an academic weapon. And I'm not going to be telling you the regular tips like, oh, install Pomodoro app, all these kind of things. I'm actually going to give you real substantial tips that's actually going to move the ball forward. So anyways, let's get into it. The truth is, sometimes we don't make a committed action to actually stop doing something because we don't actually know what it's actually going to do in the long run. There was a time in my 200 level where every time during one particular class I used to sit down and read episode like my life depended on it. And so the time came for me to write tests now for that course, test one. I was really sweating, as I was writing that test, I already knew the outcome. Only for me to open portal one day later and I saw 7/15. Nobody had to beg me to stop reading like episode in class. Nobody had to beg me. But you don't have to wait until you start seeing the effects of those things on your academics. You don't have to wait until it actually breaks things down in your academics. And if this has happened to you for so long, you might start feeling like as if this phone addiction is above you. It's not something that you can conquer. And me too, I've had things in my life where I felt like as if I could never get over it. But recently I started reading a book, The Power of Public Speaking, and it said something. He said in the book that if you have been long defeated by a difficulty, it's probably because you have told yourself for weeks, for months, and even for years that there is nothing you can do about it. You have so emphasized your inability to yourself, and your mind gradually accepted the conclusion upon which you have insisted. And when your mind is convinced, you are convinced. For as you think, so you are. So all this while you haven't been able to get over that phone addiction, not simply because you couldn't get over it, but because you didn't think you could. But let me continue what he was saying. But on the contrary, when you employ this new and creative concept, I can do all things through Christ, then you develop a new mental stance. Emphasize and re-emphasize that positive attitude, and you will finally convince your own consciousness that you can do something about difficulties. So today we are not going to just sit down and watch this phone addiction take over our life. Today we are going to take over it. I need you to, like what he said in his book, to actually believe for a second, even if it's just for a millisecond, and you can actually do it. Because when you actually believe that you're actually going to be able to overcome this phone addiction, that is the first step to actually overcoming it. But to break this phone addiction, it's not just about taking back your focus. It's about taking back your time, and it's about taking back your control. And so I'm going to be giving you 3 steps that are actually going to help you to break this phone addiction right now, immediately. And I'm going to start by giving you some apps that you're actually going to download on your phone right now as I'm talking to you that will actually help you to deal with this phone addiction. And the first is simply screen time. I've used screen time before, and it was really, really helpful for me as well. What you just simply do, you just install the app, and then you put a password for the apps that you want to be using for less time. And what I used to always do, I don't used to set the password by myself. I used to go and give somebody else to put the password, somebody that I know that will not give me the password, but someone like my mom now, for example. And things like that actually help you in actually staying on top of you actually being able to focus. Another app that I recently discovered is the Minimalist Phone app, because this app is also really, really good for actually helping you to manage your phone and this one as well. It helps you to control the amount of time that you actually use on your phone. These are the kind of apps that you should actually be having, so that you actually be able to meter the amount of time that you actually use your phone. The second one is one that is going to definitely work, because there can come a time whereby you uninstall the app or something like that, and the app might not always be able to save you. But this next one, day in, day out, can actually help you to overcome this addiction. And it's the fact that you need to wake up. You need to wake up. Wake up and remember the vision. Wake up and remember the things that you told yourself you would do this year. If you cut out just 1 hour from the time that you're using to scroll on your phone, to do that one thing, to start that channel, to start that business, to actually devote more time to studying your books, to actually get the grades that you deserve, who knows where it would have been by me? Who knows? So I want you to, just for a second, just remember what you told yourself you would do this year, and just stop feeling like as if these things are out of your control, because it is well within your ability, well within your control, well within your sphere of influence to actually change the outcome of how this phone is dragging your life. And there was a time too during this my IT where I was just watching TikTok and I just started feeling down, and everything just felt like as if it just fell apart. Luckily for me, it was just for a week anyways. And I just woke up and I was like, I can't allow TikTok to be doing this for me. So for that next week like this, I just completely zoned out of the app. And by the time I came back to watching it, I was able to be much more controlling of how I spent my time there, still being able to balance my relaxation time with the things that I also have to do as well. You cannot allow this thing to take control of your life. You have other things to do, you have visions to chase, you have goals to chase. And when you constantly remember that, as you're scrolling, to help you to be much more conscious of your time. The next one is going to be one that's sincerely going to save your academic career. And I know a lot of people are not going to like this one. They will start telling me, oh, it's a new age, it's a new era. Nah, lie. This third one, sorry. If you do this one is one that I can sincerely say has saved my academic life. And if you want to use them, use them. If you don't want to use them, don't use them. You couldn't. And this is simply stop using your phone in class. I don't want to hear whatever your excuse is, sincerely. Even if you're not understanding the class, don't open your phone unless you know that your lecturer has a track record of constantly explaining in class and nobody's understanding. That's the only time when you should actually be opening your phone in class, and that would be to watch videos about the topic that he is teaching. I'm sincerely grateful for my school for the fact that they don't even allow people to really open devices in class, because I see videos on TikTok sometimes and some people are like playing games in class and I'm like, here? Jesus. And I know that out of many reasons, like people say that they bring their devices to class to open notes, use ChatGPT, or to check something about what is happening in the class. But 9 out of 10 times when you were checking that so-called thing, you found yourself on TikTok, you found yourself on Instagram, you found yourself doing something else, even when you claimed that you were actually using the notes. So to me, I sincerely feel like you should never even bring it to class. And in the case where you are bringing your phone or your tablet to class, it shouldn't be connected to internet, because I have seen those people that they use their tablets and stuff to write in class, and that's really, really nice. But when you're using it in class, do not connect it to internet. That is just a form of distraction, and it's derailing your academic career more than you think. Because when you at least even listen during class, you grasp an idea of what the lecturer is doing in class. But by the time you don't even have an idea, and when you go to read by yourself, you're starting from scratch, it's completely stressful. It's like so stressful. So yeah, be sure to actually not use your phone in class, unless you really, really have to. And if you do, don't use it connected to Wi-Fi. And if you're enjoying the video so far, please actually stay to the end, because the end is actually the main part. That's why I'm going to be giving you 2 main tasks that are actually going to help you to break this phone addiction and actually move your academic career forward. Anyways, let's get on with the video. So now that we have the tools to actually break the phone addiction, now we need to move from the era of just being like, oh, I've broken it, but now to actually thriving above it. And now I'm going to give you some apps that you should actually put on that phone to actually make that phone a sword for your academic class. And the first one, like I said before, is always the apps that you should install. And this video will not be complete if I don't talk about Forest. I've been using Forest since when I was in like what year in life? I can't remember. I know I've just been using it for a very long time. I think since lockdown, and it's a very, very good app, because even if you're using the free version, you can still do the deep focus and actually be able to focus on what you're actually doing, to ensure that you actually don't get distracted while you are studying. Because a lot of people that I saw like in the comments in TikTok, I saw that they said that they easily get distracted, and if you're struggling with actually not being able to focus as a student, I have a video on that as well. But having an app like Focus now, like Forest, it actually helps you to focus by force, because unless you actually finish the timer that you put, you will not be able to come out of it. The next one that I saw that I just came across recently is Exam Crush. Exam Crush, this is not an ad, but it would be really nice if you guys sponsored me anyways. So this app, what you can simply do is just upload your PDFs to it, and then you'll be able to actually convert those things for you to actual flip class. And guess what, it's free, unlike the other things that you guys use. That's one thing I love about Exam Crush. It's actually just a free app that's going to help you with active recall and actually going to improve your study session. Because here in this video I talked about how flashcards are a really great form of like active recall, and that is an app that you should be having on your phone, and not those other things that actually distract you. This next one is something that I have actually been seeing recently in the academia space, and I think it's quite aesthetic, and it actually gives you that feeling of you're actually doing something, even though in the moment it might feel like as if you're not doing much. But having an app like this can actually really, really encourage you to be much more in the moment of your study session, and that is Flip Clock. It's all over the academia. Like, if you've not seen it, then you're not even in academia at all. It's just simply an app where you just be seeing the thing flipping and you're seeing the time flipping and all that. It really gives that sense of fulfillment. Like, wow, I'm actually giving my academics the time it deserves. I'm actually putting in the effort to get the grades that I deserve. So if you struggle with feeling like as if you're not really making any movements or making any progress, that flip flop is actually going to give you, the feeling like, wow, I am actually doing something to move my academics today. And so this second point is something that, I feel like as if you employ this much more in your academics, you'll actually be able to gain your focus back. Because I know that right now you're starting from a place whereby it's really, really difficult for you to read because of the amount of short content you're taking. But if you use this second tip, it's going to really, really help you in regaining your focus back and actually do a whole lot better in your schoolwork. And that is simply scheduling. And this scheduling actually applies more like to two sessions. Scheduling your social media time and actually scheduling the amount of time you use to study. When you are scrolling, don't just be foolishly, I should have said foolishly, don't just be aimlessly scrolling for long hours without having a substantial amount of time of thinking how long you actually want to scroll. And don't be unrealistic with yourself. Tell yourself, I want to just scroll for 2 minutes. You're just coming from a place where you used to scroll for like 6 hours. Tell yourself that I cannot scroll today for more than 2 hours. Once you're getting to the 2 hours place, you need to once again remember that past tip, remembering your vision, remembering your goals, and that will drive you to actually come off the app and actually, want to come off and do something else with your life. And this was not something that was in my script, but one thing that has really, really helped me to also manage my social media is crafting my feed in such a way that it brings me motivational kinds of posts that actually make me want to leave the app, that make me want to stand up and do something with my life. So if you notice your feed is a kind of feed that just encourages you to stay in one place and not be doing anything substantial with your life, you need to curate your feed in such a way that it stops doing that. All my things on my feed are not really motivational, but after a couple scrolls, I will see what motivational, but let's remember, child, I should be doing something substantial in my life, and that will actually help you to cure that social media problem. And this last one is one that most people don't really talk about, and I've not really heard anybody mention it, so I think I just should. So this next one, I don't know about you guys, but if I tell my people that let's read by 8 o'clock, and they come and they see me scrolling by the 8 o'clock, they're not going to leave me the screen. They're going to tell me like, guys, stand up, Joe. Did you say that we should all read by 8 o'clock? So actually telling somebody else, that this is the time that you guys want to read and all that, having that accountability outside of yourself, it actually helps you to stick to what you actually told yourself that you would actually do. And now, onto the tasks of the video, like I promised you guys. So the first task is simply to download either Screen Time Minimalist, download Forest, and an optional one to download is Exam Crush, so that you can use it to actually create flashcards for yourself that help you to practice active recall and actually improve your academics over time. And the second one is get your phone right now and record yourself saying an action statement. The action statement could be, from now on, I'm not going to ever scroll on TikTok or any app for more than 2 hours. Or I'm not going to, take my phone to class anymore. Or maybe I'm going to be reading for 1 hour every day with Forest. But whatever action you know that you will take right now that will actually help you to cure this phone addiction and actually help you to become an academic weapon, bring out your phone right now and actually record it. Because recording it is going to be a proof of what you're actually going to do once you actually finish this video. And like I said at the beginning with this book, the only reason why you haven't been able to do it because for a long time you've actually convinced yourself that you actually couldn't do it. And there were a lot of things in my life that I felt like I could never do, but when I read this book, I actually felt much more motivated. I felt much more like I had the power to actually tell myself what I couldn't do. So yeah, just know that you can actually break that phone addiction, and it is not out of your boundaries, it is not out of your power, and it is not out of your sphere of reach. It is within your sphere of influence. And I know that after this video, you're going to come back and comment that, wow, thank you so much. I've been able to cure this phone addiction. Thank you so much. I've been able to do much better in my academics after I've let go of all these phone problems. And thank you for actually watching to this point. And if you watched all the way to this point, just comment down below that I'm throwing away the damn phone. Just comment that I'm throwing away the damn phone. Yeah. So that will be a secret between those of us that stay to the end. But one thing that I can tell you that is that once you start actually figuring out your academics, you're going to want to be reading for longer. You're going to want to be putting a whole lot more work. And so I've been able to curate over time how I've been able to study effectively for 42 plus hours and study so effectively and actually do a whole lot more in my exams and produce substantial results that I've never seen before. So click on the video by the side where I just simply talk about my experience during my exams, how I was able to read productively and actually produce results, and give you some substantial tips that will actually help you to move your academics forward today. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I was really excited to make it, based on the fact that I saw that a lot of people on TikTok said that they were struggling with this, and I just felt like people in my community might just be struggling with this too. So I hope this really helped, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.